Hey, everybody, and welcome once again to Creepy Conversations from the Castle. This is your host, Bobby J. Gallo, and we're coming to you live from Roseto, Pennsylvania, from our haunted abode, Castello Gallo. And we have a great show for you tonight. We really do. Now, I know a lot of you have noticed right off the bat that this is the third weekly podcast because normally we do this bi-weekly, but we ended up doing this weekly because all of my guests seem to have projects that are imminently coming out, and our guests tonight are no exception. So we wanted to get them on as quickly as possible. So I've actually been doing this weekly. We will be going to bi-weekly after this week, though, because it's tough. It's tough to do this every single week, but there is a laundry list of guests coming up. I think you guys are going to be really happy with the material going forward. But before we start, I did want to mention a few things. The first is, you guys know that we are in an official collaboration with Fenercy, and they supplied us with the ERD10 EMF detector that you saw in our Oddfellow Cemetery investigation. And just this week, we received the GC3. And this is an EMF detector, but you know what's cool about this one, folks? And I'm going to put this in the camera here. It's a nuclear radiation detector. That's right. It's an actual Geiger counter. Now, I don't know of anyone who has investigated the relationship between nuclear energy and paranormal activity, but at the request of Fenercy, we're going to do it. And this is not the most inexpensive unit in the world, folks. And I really appreciate them sending us one of these complimentary for the show. But we are going to be using that in an upcoming episode. But if anybody, by the way, if anybody does want the ERD10, which is probably one of the best EMF detectors I've ever used, we do have them available. Yeah, I know these look like bricks of C4, folks, but they're not. They are actually brand new ERD10s that we will send out to you if you want one, and we're doing it at a discounted rate. So once again, we are still in a collaboration with Fenercy Electronics, and so look on our next investigation for the GC3 nuclear radiation detector being used, and we're going to see if there is a relationship, when we get paranormal activity, because we almost always do. I don't know why. We're ghost magnets. And we're also going to be using the FCD Legacy, which is a brand new ghost box made by Nigel Mortimer over in the UK. This was custom made for us. No, we do not have a collab with him, but we did purchase this from him, and this was custom built for us. And so far, field testing this, a little testing here and there, it's amazing. So we're also going to have this on our next investigation, probably coming up this coming weekend. We are coming to you live not only on YouTube, which right now our current subscriber count is 52,000 people. But we also are coming to you live on Twitter X and Facebook. So if anybody watching this from Twitter X and Facebook, if you would like to interact with our guests or myself, please go to YouTube and interact in the chat. Okay, now that I got all of that out of the way, we're going to bring on our guests because we have a lot to talk about, folks, and I'm really excited to bring on these two people. And the reason is I love these people. They have been supporters of Gallo Family Ghost Hunters ever since we met them at Phenomenology several years ago. They've had me on their radio show. That's right. They are radio personalities, folks. Well, they've had me on their radio show several times, and we just seem to click. We're almost neighbors. They only live a couple towns away from Castello Gallo, but they live in an infamously haunted house, which I believe they're doing a documentary on that we're going to be talking about. So without further ado, I am going to bring them on. Ladies and gentlemen, here they are, Julia and Philip Siracusa. Hey, folks.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, well, I'm better now that you guys are on, so now I don't have to do this alone.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having us on tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, I think everybody's going to love this. I really do. And let me see. Well, we also have we already have people in the chat. Let me see. We have Kathy. Hi, Kathy. Oh, from Hollis, Maine. Awesome. Thank you, Kathy. I hope you really enjoy the show tonight. So what we're going to do right now is we are going to basically I know you guys have a lot of things in the works right now. You guys have a lot of projects in the works. One thing I did notice about both of you, and once again, I respect both of you. You guys have been huge supporters of ours. And I really enjoyed your radio show when you had that. You were live in broadcasting live in New Orleans, which I always thought was so cool. But I noticed that you guys have backed off a little bit from the paranormal community. And I mean, noticeably so. And I want to get your take on why that happened.
So, breaking news. I'm going to start out with some breaking news. You ready?
Let's do it.
Yeah, here we
Okay,
go.
so I made a Facebook post about a week or two ago. It's kind of like if you know, you know, because only a handful of people knew. But
Right.
people in the world, we moved in March. We moved out of the Horsefly Chronicles home, the haunted house, and our lives, honestly speaking, have been awesome. Our lives went from the darkness to the light within a matter of weeks of moving.
Wow.
We're in the Poconos of Pennsylvania. We love it. Our neighbors are the bears outside, and life has changed. And now, you know, you say, well, you backed off the paranormal because we were going through so much in that house.
Mm.
We had the radio show. My wife was organizing everything. She did everything. I was just the co-host. But when you're dealing with negative energy in the home and the fighting and the arguing or whatever with the children and the friction, you can't concentrate. So we put everything on hold. Everything. And then we were like, we're done. We're going to move. And we made a plan to move without letting the house know we were going to move. It was a secret thing that was done, that was actually talked about by the late friend of mine years ago, Dan Rivera. He says, look, privately, when he came to the home he says, look, if you ever want to escape this thing, and one of these measures you would have to do is don't talk about moving. Get out, look around, and move, but don't talk about it in the house. So the last day, well, actually, up until we started getting the last stuff out of that house, I remember going to the backyard and getting stung by bees, and then there was a lot of fighting again. But when we were out of that house officially, and it was signed over to the new owner, you felt this enlightenment, like we're free. And yes, the new owner knows all about the home, but they don't care. Like they're these people from another country that they just didn't. I don't think they believe in anything, which is good. So, and here we are. So we're doing great. We're in another part of Pennsylvania, the Poconos, as you know, Bobby.
Yes.
Now we're slowly transitioning back, but my wife won't get back into radio.
Yeah, I'm much happier being a guest on your show.
Yeah.
But Julia, you were so good at it.
Oh, thank you. I know, and people are asking me to come back all the time. I'm just not right now. I'm just
okay.
We're enjoying
it.
I'm just it's a lot, as you know. It's a lot of work.
It is, and I swore I would never do this.
Yeah.
But here I am. I don't know how this happened.
It just happens. I always say that to myself too. How did this happen? I don't even know how I got here, but I did, and it was great. And maybe one day, but right now I'm just I'm good.
And we're happy for you, Bob, that your own show, you're doing great. I'm happy for you because it is a lot of work. I was listening to you before you brought us on. Having a show every week is not easy. We schedule who cancels, and the microphones, and the picture quality, and the streaming, and the internet.
And then your regular life on top of that.
It's just like, and if are there any storms outside, they're going to go and cause haywire with the internet. So I feel for you, but you know what? You're doing a great job. Keep it going.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I do. I really do. Especially coming from you two, who I respect highly.
Oh,
thank you.
Wish I could say that about everybody in the industry, but you know how this goes.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. It really is. Now, really quick, can you give me and I already know the answer to this, but for my viewers, because over the next coming weeks, this is going to get several thousand hits, depending on the time zones. But give us a truncated overview of what the Horsefly Chronicles house was for those of you who don't know that yet.
Okay. So where do you want to start?
I'm asking a lot.
No, it's I'm letting him take that one to start it off.
We first moved into the home in 2010, and we had no paranormal activity in that house. And which is funny because we lived in a different part of Pennsylvania, 2009, in Paranormal, PA, which our life was like a storybook. I used to pinch myself saying, "This, our lives are great. I have a great job, great family, everything's perfect." Up until we wanted to buy that house, but it didn't work out in our favor. And this was kind of like we thought we chose the house, but the house chose us. And I remember going on Zillow and looking, and I see this home for a decent price. I'm like, I call up the realtor, and they're like, "Sorry, it's on the contract. It was another family, yada yada yada." And then we start looking, and then we found another home owned by a priest.
Yeah.
Remember that house?
Yes, it was really nice.
That was nice. But then we were still tossing the idea back and forth. And then my wife calls me. I'm at work one day, and she says, "Guess what? That house is out of contract. The one I'm going to go see it."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
And long and behold, sometimes these things choose you. You don't choose it. And I don't know everything, but I can tell you that the first couple of years were fine. You know, parties, family coming over, friends.
A lot of family.
It was great. You know, we're a big family from New York coming down, and it was good. But it wasn't up until July of 2013 in the morning. I got up 5 in the morning for work, and that's when all hell broke loose in that home. And I seen this black orb with my eyes. And I think I try to rule out everything. I think it's the size of a cantaloupe. And it's going from the kitchen to the living room to the dining. And I'm following it like a moron, looking like, what am I looking at? Is it the bulbs blinking? Is it the light coming through with the sun? And I just keep following it. And then I go to work that morning, and then me and my friends go to a diner in New Jersey just before we're really going to start, all day. And I'm saying, there's things that are starting to happen at home. And then one of my friends says, "Why don't you write a story on this and tell the world what your experience?" I'm like, "No, I'm not doing that. I don't have time with work schedule." When I got involved with them and started to write my experiences in the home, something told me that you're opening up something you don't know what can happen. And I remember telling them that I don't know what's going to happen by telling this. Maybe it's just, psychosomatic or power of thought. But so I remember going to Cranford, New Jersey, sitting down with my coworkers at the end of a workday on a Saturday evening. They had their tape recorders, video camera, and I'm starting to talk about what's happening in that house. And all of a sudden, we felt this heaviness come over us, like this heavy, heavy weight. And we knew something was wrong. Then all of a sudden, his camera starts to die, and the wife is starting to argue with him.
I remember that.
So at that point, we opened up / I opened up the door that it wanted us to open up. And from that point, that's when the Horsefly Chronicles was born into the paranormal world. I had to let the world know what we were dealing with. And I'll be the first to say the skepticism of myself even. It's fake, it's this, it's not real. Yeah, it's just... But what was happening was we were being pulled into this darkness. So it was me and 2 coworkers. One didn't even believe in paranormal stuff. The other one's like, "You got a good story." Then we found a psychic who remote viewed the house without even knowing where I lived. And she's telling us things that were happening in the house and what she sees. I didn't believe her. For me, it's hard to believe until I see it myself. Then I get my son's school teacher involved in Pennsylvania. She's a science teacher.
Yeah.
And she gets involved and she says, "I want to write the book with you guys because I believe in this stuff."
Because my son was going and telling her all kinds of things. And she just got invested.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden she's emailing me. Now things are happening in her house in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's either everyone's crazy or we're all being affected. And it grew from there. It snowballed into people getting involved, me getting people involved. And when you feed something, no matter what it is, any type of darkness, especially in this case, an entity, it grows. And I didn't know much about this stuff. In fact, the only paranormal teams, I used to watch it on television. I didn't know much about it. I was interested in it. But when you live it and now you experience it, it's like it pulls you like a magnet.
Right.
Now you're a part of it.
Well, we didn't know much about it, but the funny thing is we were both born into it. So what I think this house, I think what happens in these cases is that they wait for you. And I think they always know you're going to end up coming there. And, it's kind of like, yeah, exactly what you said. The house picked us. And I was very drawn to this house. It's like,
We both were.
and I
Yeah.
always say, if you have a weird obsession, like you're drawn in a weird way, and it's more about like, oh, it's a beautiful house. There's something else there. If you're really drawn to something and you can't understand why, yes, it's a beautiful house, yes, all of that, but something else, there's a reason for it. There is a reason for it, because the house that we
Yeah.
were that we were renting was 10 sizes bigger than the Horsefly house. So it was just something about that house. I remember I was the first one to walk in that house.
Yeah.
And it like overtook me.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And
You know, a lot of times when people experience these things, and yeah, Phil, you said something a little while back that piqued my interest. You know, when people say you don't know what you're getting into. Well, to me, it's eyes open or eyes closed, because how many of these people are involved and they don't even know it? We see it all the time. You know,
exactly.
people are in haunted places, people are being affected by dark entities, and whether I would rather know that's happening to me than being an unwitting victim of what's going on. And you know, other people, what are they
Right.
chalking up to? Bad luck, bad personality, bad upbringing, you know, the depressed area. Who knows? They could think of a
Well, yeah, and that's exactly what was happening in that neighborhood. Exactly what you just said.
Mhm,
Everyone in that neighborhood was being affected, but they
mhm.
didn't.
Yep. So I mean, that's the one thing that. So I mean, you know, I have a lot of friends, and you know, I have friends in every spectrum. They're like, you know, as far as spirituality is concerned, and some of them are fundamentalist Christians, and they'll say to me, "You have no idea what you're dealing with." Actually, I do.
Yeah.
Whether or not I can handle some of it, that remains to be seen. But I know what I'm dealing with, and I'd rather know what I'm dealing with than not know what I'm dealing with, and just turn a blind eye. Because as you guys know, you could ignore things all you want. That doesn't mean it's going to go away,
Right.
you know. And
Yeah.
but there's sometimes though we know what's going on, and we know the risks and we know the dangers, and we do things anyway. I mean, just recently we had a tragedy in the in the paranormal world, and I know you did a video on TMZ about
Yes.
what's going on,
Yeah.
and we're not going to name any names, folks, so don't worry, you could breathe now. But I will say this: you were attacked. I saw it with my own eyes, and I kind of came to your defense there, because I know you're a stand-up guy, Phil, and you wouldn't do this unless you believed what you were saying. And quite frankly, I believed it too. So, I mean, you tell us a little bit about that and why you made that video on. I mean, it's public knowledge. We're not saying anything that's not
Yeah.
already out there, folks. It's on TMZ.
Well, you know, first off, Dan Rivera was our friend. Okay,
Right,
that man was our friend.
right.
Now, even though he didn't live close to us, he was always there with a phone call. He
Yeah.
Mhm.
came to our home and discovered what we were dealing
He
with
was
when we
always
needed help.
he was always willing to come on the show for the 100th time. I mean, he was great.
And you know, when someone's in your corner and they back you up and they come to your home with their team, NESPR at the time, and
Mhm.
they try to help you and your family, and then he gave me the advice on the side of how to escape this thing. One of the reasons, or one of the ways. Um, I went on. I had to get out there in the world and tell people that I get the most stupidest comments.
Mhm.
Well, Annabelle wasn't in the room with him, so he couldn't have died from Annabelle. I mean, I don't know where the stupidity comes from. The third grade shit comes out.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Annabelle got up and choked him. Yeah, that's what she did. Yeah, I mean, come on, people. This is not make believe. So
It's not
what
how
does
this
happen?
works.
You want to know what does happen, and I will take it all the way.
Mhm.
This is what does happen from my experience. When you see the true face of evil, an entity, a demon, the true face, not what you think you see, you can't handle it. I believe, knowing Dan, knowing that situation, no, Annabelle does not have to be present in that room. But it's the intent of a person when we do these investigations, when we have these haunted objects, that these things have an attachment, a darkness to them, a stigma. I believe the man seeing face value what the devil looks like in disguise. That's what I believe. And he couldn't handle it. You have a heart attack. And I believe that 1,000,000%.
That's heavy.
And having said that, from experience of stuff we dealt with in our home, we know firsthand these things don't play nice.
No.
And these things have an ego. That's right. They have an ego. It sounds stupid.
Yeah.
But
No, it doesn't.
have an ego. They do.
Absolutely.
And when they are challenged and when they are provoked or mocked, or if there is enough intent behind an object, a house, or a person that has an attachment, the devil will come out of the disguise and attack you on his watch, not yours.
Yeah. There's no time left there.
So, of course, it's it's fake, it's this, it's that. He didn't die from this and natural. Natural causes my ass. The guy died because of an intent. The guy was very powerful. I want to say this about Dan. When in July of 2020, he was at my home, and we were in the basement. He knew how to bring out the entity. He knew. He was the only one who knew. On a digital recorder, not a spirit box. We have to make out what it's saying. A digital.
He's the one that got him to believe that he was being tricked this whole time. Right,
by Sarah. He, with his teammates, he has a digital recorder in the basement. There's just the four of us. And he goes, Phil, I want you to ask something. He says, Phil, ask Sarah, who are you really? Because Sarah was a girl who played innocent, but she was really the demon. And I didn't know that, and I wasn't buying it. So I asked Sarah, who are you really? Then Dan goes, wait a minute. He stops the recorder, plays it back. And in this male evil voice, it says, which I'm not going to say on air because I don't know.
We'll just say the letter.
It says pretty much, go F all yourselves. And you felt the evilness from it. Then we went up to the living room and we're sitting down and he's reading prayers from this prayer book that he has. And every light in the kitchen, dining room went on so bright that you almost had to close your eyes and then it was gone. Gone.
Wow.
And we felt free. So the man had the authority somehow and the empowerment to communicate with this entity.
And let's go back. I mean, we can't sit here and say, oh, Annabelle's fake, Annabelle's fake. There's been so many people that have come forward to me, to all of us, that expressed how they felt when they were near her. They were sick. I know this girl that went there and actually couldn't go a few of the days because she got so violently sick. Like, it was affecting people. It really was.
Well, and here's the trick. I have to add this really quick, Bob. That let's just say you have a haunted object and you said I'm going to go on tour, but I'm not going to take the real haunted object. Now, I want you to follow me on this, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
So let's make believe you got this haunted object and I'm going to go out and do tours with it, but I'm going to bring a duplicate. It's not really the haunted object. Do you know what triggers any object? Intent of the person.
I was going to say intent. I was going to say that. Yep.
And it's the same thing as a Ouija board. Is there anybody here? Communicate with me. If there's no intent, sometimes nothing happens. But if you have intent, guess what? You're going to bring it upon no matter what it is, it's going to come through. And it's not, and most of the time it's not good. So
time and distance don't mean anything in the spirit world.
Yes.
I mean, we have already, I would say there's people involved in metaphysics that have proven beyond a reasonable doubt that bilocation exists. Like, these things could be in two places at once anyway. These entities.
Most definitely. You hit it right on the head. Perfectly said. Time and distance doesn't make a difference. No. And the object of an intent can somehow change into, if you have enough thought empowerment to bring it to you or communicate with it, it will communicate with you. And sometimes, we had a tragedy in the Horsefly house in 2019. One of those people came forward to me. I don't believe your case. Yada, 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 yada. Okay. My thing was, come on down, like The Price is Right. Come on down. I say to people, don't take a word I have to say. Come on down yourself. So this was a branch off of Paranormal Challenges team, which Zach Bagans used to run. So team comes down to the house, and I'm going Facebook Live. And I said, do me a favor, I want to interview each and every one of you. And then the leader and the girl, the first two people out of the five, say we were visited last night by something in our hotel room and we don't know what it was. So what was happening was now they start the investigation in my home, and he leaves the female investigator in my living room. And I said, don't do that. Don't leave her alone.
Yeah.
Oh no, I know what I'm doing. I have 30 years experience.
Yeah.
And okay, we're all in the basement. I have home surveillance cameras everywhere. And she's like, Sarah, can you hear me? And she has this little doll. Communicate with me. Sarah, can you hear me? And I knew this was wrong. This was all wrong, but I'd have a say in my own house. So he starts to get edgy and mean, like he's being
The whole attitude
this
changed.
attitude shift from this nice guy to this guy like yelling at his team, you know?
He's yelling at his girlfriend.
Yeah, there was his girlfriend at the time. So they wrapped up the night after a few hours. You know, some bad things were happening. And then I haven't heard from the guy. So a month later, I was like, where is he? I call him on the phone. I was like, I got to talk to you about the girl. She disappeared off home surveillance for 12 minutes and then reappears. It's like, maybe it's a glitch. He's like, I don't want to talk about her. I was like, okay. The next week in the newspapers.
Yeah.
And I really choke up about this one because she was such a nice person. He killed her. And I'm not going to go through names.
Yeah,
she's dead.
Oh, I know who
Well,
you're talking
so
about. I know who you're talking about.
That he killed.
Right.
Her.
Well, we say we're not mentioning names. We can
okay,
say
fine. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good with that.
It was
Here's what I have to say about this, and it goes to the Annabelle, goes to Dan Rivera, it goes to all of this. So you see, we think we know everything. We know how to outsmart the entity. We know how to do this. We know. Don't you think for 1 second that something that's been around for hundreds of thousands of years already knew your pattern, already knew the walk you were going to walk? And when it does that and it knows that, it just brings you, it throws out a fishing line and reels you into its realm. And it's like, now I got you on my clock, not yours, kid. And I have seen so many things time after time again where, you know, especially in the paranormal communities, it becomes like a following base. Oh, this group believes in this, so I'll believe in this. And how's about realism? Let's get to facts. Let's get to the hardcore facts. I and my wife have taken heat over the years. It's fake. We had over 52 seasoned paranormal teams from around the world come to the home to prove that paranormal phenomenon does exist, not just at my home, but everywhere.
I mean, the people that have said it was fake haven't been to the house.
So, I mean, is
that's a really good point.
Is Dave Spinks fake? Is Melissa Lipa fake? Is Scott Gerhardt fake? Is Jeff Lipa fake? Is Bill Bean fake? Is Ralph Sarchi fake? And the list goes on.
I will tell you that. I examined the one video that Julia posted. I think you were doing laundry or something. And then there was a voice in the background. Yeah. And it was chilling.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. And I must have played that 20 times to listen to it. And finally I said, stop playing that because it was getting to me.
Yeah.
And that's what you were living with.
Yeah. Well, like all the people that says they say it's fake, they haven't been
I mean, we had over the people said, why so many teams? You know why? Because I have a hard head.
Yeah.
I didn't believe it myself until the ministry came there. Then I got scared myself at that point. When I seen that this thing could do things that we're not really comprehending, and it can go after everybody at one time, no matter where you live, what state you're in. I remember being on Dave Schrader's radio show in 2013. He wanted to hear about the story, and the psychic that we got involved, she goes, "I have to talk to you after his show," and she was part of the show. And we sit in the dining room. We're in New Jersey, and all of a sudden, her eyes are black, and she's cold as ice, and she threatens me. She says, "I will kill you. I will kill you if you let this story get out." And this was my friend. And I couldn't drive home. I was and she was in the rocking chair all night in the living room of my friend's house, back and forth with this creepy friggin' laugh. I want to punch her in the face. This creepy laugh going back and forth. I'm like, you have to snap out of this. Then the son came and she just left it and say 2 words to me. So, you know, an entity can use a person as a conduit. And when we think we know how it's going to move and react, don't be stupid. Don't. You think you know? You think I know? There's no expert. Anyone who calls themselves an expert in paranormal field, do me a favor, go see a shrink and get your head checked.
I agree.
There's
I
no
agree.
expert. I'm not an expert. No one's an expert.
We're only
We have
telling you
discovered
what
that
we've learned from this house.
15 years of living in a case with over all these teams going, and we had the ministry, we had priest, reverend, shaman, deacon to remove it. Backfired. Priest goes, son, there's nothing in the home. Nothing in the home. 3 hours later, here comes the shadows casting in. So, and that's where the Horsefly Chronicles was born. And we wanted the world to know that this stuff is real. And we cannot explain everything because we don't know it.
Right.
But when you have a toy going off that is battery operated with no batteries in it, you have to ask yourself, how does science play into that? Because that's news to me.
Yeah.
Hi, Jenny. Jenny, boy, I'll tell you, you're going to have to rewind this and watch this again because this is a hell of a show tonight, I got to tell you. Now, A Haunting in Lehigh Valley is your next project. Is that based on the Horsefly Chronicles?
Yes.
It is.
Yes. It's through what we went through in that home, our experiences. You know why we can do this? Years ago. Well, first of all, we had the TV crew there in 20. God, time's flying. 2014, we had the TV crew there to do an episode. It didn't work out. It won't let it. In 2019, we got picked up for a reality TV show.
Okay.
And it was the Italian wife cooking the meals, living in a haunted house with the family. They thought it was a great twist. The film crew was non-believers. And one of the episodes, they come down and he's in my basement. His neck is burning and he shows us, and it was a little hoof print in the back. Yeah, a hoof print.
A hoof print.
A hoof print. And I have that picture too. We have the picture. And because he didn't believe in this stuff, and he never came back to the house after that. That was it. So everything went down. I'm going to say, if it doesn't want, in that house, you can't film. In that house, you can't be you. You know what happens in that house?
Never worked out.
In the house, the entity or entities take over you as the conduit. They're not there to show you, I can move an object. They're past that point. It's now you become me. We've had the nicest people that left there being the meanest people. Yeah. Until weeks later, we get a phone call. I'm sorry, I acted like that in your home. We have Brian Cano at the house. Oh, we did National Ghost Hunting Day in 2017, and I said, Brian, come into the basement. And he was before he went Facebook Live with his cast. He's like, I said, what do you think we're down with? He goes, you're on a giant portal. And remember, he didn't stay the night.
He just listen. We all get scared.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's not sit here and say I'm a paranormal investigator. I'm a psychic medium. I don't get scared. I'm calling you out. It's a lie.
That's right.
He got scared, and I can't blame him.
No. He's a great guy.
I get scared on it. I mean, it depends. I mean, I think overall, I'm pretty good on an investigation. It takes a lot, but there are those times, and it's always that feeling.
Right.
It's that feeling. That feeling. It's a feeling of dread.
Right.
And that feeling of dread comes over you at certain locations, and you guys got to get the hell out of there because you're saying to yourself, I'm not wanted here. And if I stay here, something either bad is going to happen here or something bad is going to follow me home. And in my experience, both have happened. So, yeah, I mean, it's real.
Yeah.
So, A Haunting in Lehigh Valley, I want to thank Diamondback Studio Productions. They're brave. They're in Kentucky where it's going to be filmed.
Okay.
And they're going to do the interviews in Pennsylvania because we don't live there anymore at that house, thankfully. And they're going to do the rest of the filming, the actual home, duplicated in Kentucky. But I give them a lot of credit. And there's a lot of big people coming on board to this project.
Right.
And what we want is the documentary to have a wide expand of knowledge, not just here's the story, but here's the evidence behind the story. Here's the people behind the story. So as they're reenacting, they can see what's going on and how we got to where we are, and one, being frightened by this thing, why we had to move, what it did to us. An entity doesn't just say, "Here, I'm going to show you a dark shadow and scare you." Your finances get bad. The arguments,
yes.
fighting in the home.
It affects your whole life, every aspect.
I
And
was
you
going
know,
Your kids, your
to the
children,
doctors and see why. They would say, "Well, your blood work is abnormal."
the vitamin, it takes your
wow.
vitamins. I don't, and
Vitamin D.
vitamin D, potassium, all these weird things that normally don't go really that low.
And you know how that works? I'm going to explain
They
how it
drain
works.
you.
Here's how this works, because I've learned all this through time and error. When you do a paranormal investigation, your batteries go dead. If it's a
Yeah.
real, your battery, oh, the battery's dead, I got to put a new one in. But I just charged the batteries. You hear this over and over again, right? Oh, equipment's not working, it's malfunctioning. Well, guess what? When it's done doing all that, whatever's doing that goes after the person now. Oh man, I feel drained. The next day,
100%.
the paranormal hangover, right? We all heard
Yes,
of
paranormal hangover.
Oh, I'm so tired. I need a break now. I can't do another investigation. Well, you know what's actually happening? It's depleting us.
Of
That's
everything.
right.
Walking zombies in that house for a long time. And the blood work was showing it because the doctors couldn't understand what the hell's going on with you guys. It depletes you now. And if it
Right.
depletes you, it's taking something from you because you're the next battery for its life.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with the Annabelle doll. That is the same thing that I talked about on TMZ with Matt Rife.
Not with.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. What?
You said with Matt, right?
Now you're talking about him with
Right,
this
right.
Annabelle doll and my home, and
We knew what you
brought
meant.
my eyes, because I'm like, here's a guy who's a funny guy. He's a great comedian, and time again, we hear these things that the skeptics will say coincidence happened, and the paranormal investigators who lived the house and the haunt will say,
I have one thing to say when it comes to Annabelle. What does the sign say on the case?
Right.
"Do not open."
Right.
Absolutely, positively, do not open.
Yeah.
And what was happening constantly? The case was being opened, taken out, put new lights in the case,
Right.
clean
Right.
the case, but it's not supposed to be open. It was when it was
No.
sealed, it was supposed to stay that way forever.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying, folks, I'm going to make this public. I am not saying this is what caused the tragedy.
Right.
However, I am going to say you cannot ignore the elephant in the room that just happens to be dressed like a Raggedy Ann doll. Okay? Look, either the Warrens were truthful about Annabelle or they weren't. There's no in the middle here.
Right. Exactly.
Were
Right.
they or were they not? So is this a giant fraud? Or is this real and we should really be careful with what we're doing here?
It's real, and we should really be careful about what we're doing here.
There you go. So I know I'm going to get heat for this. I know you guys already got the heat.
No, we don't care.
Oh, I
I
love
might
it.
I might as well share the heat with you.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry. You know what? I've been doing this since 1990. Our very first video on the channel is me in 1990, really young, before the kids were even born, investigating. I have seen shit. I've seen stuff that will make your hair stand up. I've seen stuff that'll make your hair fall out. We've experienced it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So when I say, why can we not talk about this without being attacked? I mean, I think we should all be talking about this. I understand it might be painful for certain family members and whatnot, and I get that, man. I sympathize, but this is the field we're in.
Right. No, you're right. You're right.
Okay.
It's a tough situation because this is someone's husband and someone's
Yes.
and someone's father, and
Right.
we have to be respectful. But you're
Yes.
right. It is the paranormal, and
no one gets it more than me.
Yeah.
The paranormal community can go a lot further and be taken more seriously if there weren't as many people who join groups of people. Well, I believe it because you believe it. I don't believe it because you don't believe it.
Right.
And what I did was when we at the Horsefly Chronicles home, you know what I used to do? Because of that psychosomatic, or because if you don't believe it, I don't believe in it, all that crap. I said, okay, everybody at my front door, you have a team of 7, you're going to go in one at a time for the whole house, and you're going to leave the back door. But you're not going to see your teammate up until you say what you experienced in the backyard. So I don't want it to be, well, he said, she said. And that proved my theory. My theory was everyone has a perspective on belief of what they think they see, feel,
Right.
and not buying it off of the next person because they're into a group that, oh, it's not real. There's nothing here. I've seen it. We've been to so many investigations, and it's just sickening. And the paranormal can be taken more seriously, like a scientific study, if the people are out there, like the trolls and the naysayers, and maybe
Hey,
they should
Phil.
be evaluated and do your homework and have some more knowledge behind what people deal with.
I mean, Phil, just recently you got attacked for the whole orb thing. And you know me, I'm an orb guy. And, just mention that you believe that paranormal orbs exist and see what happens to you in the
Oh, yeah.
para-unity community.
Oh, I laugh.
Well, you know
I think
what?
it's
I'll
funny.
tell the listener out there, you listening, you're hearing, orbs are real. Now, I'm the first person.
Mhm.
I know how this works too. Oh, I know how this works.
A lot of stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah, I
let's
do.
not-
Don't
let's-
forget, I'm a hardcore New Yorker. I
let's
got a
not get
thick
that
head. I'm
twisted.
Italian. I don't believe anything.
You
until
and
I
me
see.
both, pal.
So I remember having Eastern Paranormal Society at my house, the first paranormal team ever to come there. And they I didn't know what an orb was. They captured orbs. So it's these circles that go through the air, right? So then I started reaching out to people, and they said, well, it's dust particles. So then I started to do some proven things. Like if you get a blanket and shake it, and you get a camera with an infrared, or you'll capture dust particles. It's dust, period. Or
Right.
you may capture water vapors, molecules. You'll capture things that a camera can get that you won't.
Lens flare to me is the most common thing that's misconstrued as a paranormal orb.
But here's where it changes. Again, we think, well, it's dust particles, so there's nothing around, it's all fake, because that's how people think. It's simpleton thoughts that a person has that wants to debunk everything, right? Until they're actually in the home. But
True.
don't you think for 1 second it's a parlor trick by the entity saying, well, you look at this is all fake. This is dust particles. But here I come, and you're not going to see me. I'm going to blindside you guys.
Let me run something by you. Let's hypothetically say that all orbs, I don't think all orbs are dust, but let's just say they are. Okay. How many of these paranormal teams that say, oh, they made that ball move, or the cat ball? Cat balls are really big. The spirits made the cat ball move. The spirits closed the door. There was no wind. Well, how much easier would it be for a spirit to take a speck of dust and move it in front of a camera lens as a means of communication?
Mhm.
If they were dust.
Right.
Because I will tell you this, and I will go on the record. We have done so many experiments where we call the orbs into a picture, and it happens almost every time exactly where it's supposed to be.
Yes.
And if that was just dust and it was coincidence, I need to be playing the lottery more.
Yes.
Because the odds would be astronomical. And you have people like,
I was going to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you have people like Klaus Heinemann, who's a PhD NASA physicist, who's done underwater experiments, clean room experiments with orbs, orbs captured on cameras with the camera lens closed. And this guy is a PhD scientist. Dr. Christina Rawls, good friend of mine, also another doctor. Okay, these people are smart, and she's come to the conclusion that orbs and probably a vast majority of cases are paranormal. And then you have the other people, and they come along and say, oh, I'm a paranormal investigator, and I'm telling you it's all dust because that's what I was told.
Right,
You know,
right. Really.
I'm sorry.
You know, Bobby, you said something that I was going to say, because that was my next thing that was going to come out, was that if you asked to communicate with it and go in a certain direction, what's the possibilities of that happening? And there was a few times We had Sean Austin, who's known in the paranormal field, a great investigator, come to the home, and he goes in the basement, and he's looking at something like this. I'm like, what are you looking at? He goes, it's the size of a cantaloupe. It's this big orb. And I was happy because I'm like, you seen what I seen?
Yeah.
You see it? You see it now with your eyes? And he's following it in the basement. And then the film guy with another paranormal team captures it on film. And it's this circle. Now, it has a glow around it, this certain glow. And they're not all small. Some of them are actually big. And
yeah, some are big. Some are really big.
People go, dust particles and orbs are not real. And here's what I have to say. Until you live in a haunted house, there's a lot of, you don't know that there's so much trickery by these entities. They call parlor tricks. Here's an example. You with a team, one person sees the wall bleeding. The other person says it's not bleeding. Yeah. It's a parlor trick that the entity can do to manipulate the mind.
Yes.
It's a mind manipulator. These things know how to control the mind. Well, again, so far advanced that we're like, well, I have my EMF detector and this is what it is. And this, really? Why don't you take your EMF detector and stick it up your ass? You know why? I fuck a lot of equipment day and night. In fact, you know what? People, you want to get me started? You see the K2?
How long is this show?
I used to love this thing. Oh, the K2's real. It's this, it's that. You know how it's real? You want to know how it's real? Put in the middle of a room, take your cell phone, put it in another room, have no electronic device near the K2 meter. Then it's real. Then it's real. If you do this and you have near a cable remote, near your cell phone, well, guess what? Show and tell, people, it's going to go off. Oh, there's a ghost. No, it's not a ghost. You're just stupid. It's not a ghost. It's you. Make it believe it's a ghost. So what I like, the true, authentic, just what Dan Rivera said. You want real paranormal activity? Get a digital. I don't want to hear a spirit box that says you're making pizza when you put. Everybody's here. Oh, it says this and that. No, it doesn't say nothing. It says a bunch of garbage. You get a digital recorder, and plain silence. You ask your question. If you play it back with a response, and no one else is in the room, no CBs and radios, guess what? There's your paranormal activity. Period.
Yeah.
Now, Julie, you were going to say something there. I was just.
I don't know what I was going to say.
I love it. This show's on. Hit me off, baby. Woo!
You're on a roll, Phil. You're on a roll.
Well, you know what? I'm letting it all out because I have to, in my knowledge of what I do know, the little that I do know, I got to teach the world. Like, I'll tell you what's real and fake. You know, a lot of this stuff out there, I'm not all this equipment guy. I'm not. Maybe some of it is authentic, but yeah. I got to be honest with you. If they have 52 teams come to the house, I started to rule out the air conditioning vents blow air. It sets off these devices. Mm-hmm. The heat goes on. It sets off other devices. I've learned this. Yeah. I've learned it. And I'm not saying that a lot of the equipment doesn't work. What I'm saying is get your cell phone, put it in the room, have no interference, and shut the damn lights off in the place. How's about that? Have no electronic, no waves going through. Then see if the device works. And if it works, well, there you go. There's your proof. But most people are afraid to be lights out alone, by yourself, alone. So no one else is setting it off with their phones. In today's investigations, the cell phone. Oh, I got to text somebody really quick. Oh, look at that. It went off. You see the EMF went off? No, that's you doing it.
Well, we all know that people use REM pods to do that. And that really... Yeah. I mean, the whole REM pods are so popular right now. And I think one reason is it's so easy to manipulate them. That's just my opinion.
Right. Yeah. Right.
I mean, they were never made to communicate with a spirit. They were made just to see if there's something abnormal in the room. But people are like, can you set that off back and forth? And of course, there is a popular TV show. And I don't want to mention what it is because I'm kind of friends with one of the hosts. But the main guy in the show is holding the REM pod in his hand and it's going off. And he's like, oh, look, paranormal activity. I'm like, dude, it's detecting you. You're holding it. Yeah. You got to be like 10 feet away from the damn thing. You know?
Yeah. You know, we learned that TV is a lot of fluff. They have to add all this fluff because they said, and like we said, sometimes paranormal investigations like throwing one fish in a lake and you're casting around, you got to get a ghost, you know. And then they have to fluff it so you have viewers and listeners and people watching it so they get more out of
takes a
it.
long time to investigate a house or a haunting or a location or whatever. You can't do it in an hour. You can't do it in 2 hours. This
Right.
a long time.
Sometimes, it depends if the entity wants to communicate. But if you're dealing with something what we dealt with, it doesn't really care.
Yeah.
It doesn't care. You think your stupid question, hi, are you a child? I never heard anything so stupid in my life. Stupid.
Well,
It's stupid.
I do want to address one thing somebody in the chat said.
Okay.
Adventures. I'm gonna flash it back up here again. Adventures with
Okay,
Beth
let's see.
said, "There's nothing in the dark that wasn't there in the light." I do agree with that, Beth, with one caveat, and that is in the dark, it is easier to capture possible paranormal anomaly because in the daytime, and we investigate a lot during the daytime, but you cannot capture photographic anomaly in the daytime. It's almost impossible. You can do it. It's rare, but at night it's easier to get those things. Like our most famous full body apparition was caught because it was nighttime.
Yeah, you had a picture one time you showed me, Bobby. That was incredible. I think is
Yeah.
that what you're talking about? That
Yeah, I
apparition?
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Wow.
That is true. That is true.
So
And it all goes back to intent.
the nighttime is good for certain things. It really is. But I agree with most people. Most seasoned investigators will tell you can capture just as much activity in the day as you can at night, and I totally agree with that. However, I will say there's something with the energy at twilight, dusk, for us anyway. We seem to find that has the most activity, even more than the actual nighttime or the daytime. It's like that dusk just as the sun is setting, and there could be a whole bunch of quantum physical explanations for that we haven't discovered yet. I don't know.
I agree. Right, there's so much we don't know about that we're still learning. Look at the UFO documentaries coming out. They were on the news. Some of our top military people and these guys come forward saying that we're dealing with, we believe, is interdimensional beings where time and space doesn't really coexist with these things.
Right.
But the government, of course, keeps hush hush on. I think there's so much we don't know, is what I'm trying to say. There's so much that we don't know. But we do know is that these things do exist.
Right. That's a good point, Jenny. When the lights are off, it heightens your other senses because your mind's not preoccupied with everything that you're seeing.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
That's a very, very good. That's a very good point.
Jenny's a really smart person.
Oh my gosh, she's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And she's right. But my theory is kill the power in the place. Shut off the main fuse box. Do it. Most people won't because they're just a bunch of fraidy cats. Get a flashlight and go by yourself and shut the power off from the building, and then bring all your EMF and your K2s. And then if they go off, well, then you got something.
Phil, you just said something. And I say this all the time. I'm like, why do people investigate in these gigantic groups?
Yeah.
Because we don't.
Yeah.
We don't.
You guys always stuck with that. Yeah. Just a family. It gets too much.
It does. I agree.
It's too much.
The groups I don't agree with, because what actually starts to happen is it's a he said, she said, I see, you see, we see the same thing. At the end of the night, you got nowhere. You got no evidence. You got fake knowledge, and you've gotten nowhere in your notebook. If you're going to do a serious investigation, first, you better learn how to protect yourself, and second, learn about the history of the location and learn about your equipment. What does set it off? That can be fake before you start the sage trail. It's just a long process.
See you later, Jenny. Thank you for stopping by. As always, we love you. But yeah. So anyway, we got like 5 minutes. So I want you guys to just start. Anything you guys want to promote now is definitely the time.
Well, first of all, before we promote anything, is there anything you want to address that might be skeptical? Because I love skeptical questions. I love skeptical questions.
I don't have any.
Okay.
You know what?
If there's any skeptical questions, or I want you to go ahead and ask. But I will say that living the life that we live, look how happy I am. I wasn't this happy. Take me back a year ago. I was miserable. I was hating everything.
Yeah.
It took us a
I'm
while
good.
to get to
I get
this
up every
point.
morning. I go for a long walk in
He
the Pocono
does. He
streets.
walks.
I
I never thought I'd ever see him
I
walk.
go for a walk. I'm a different person. I'm forward to waking up. Not
It's good for
strain
you.
And this heavy weight, and my kids are happy. You know, the haunting of Lehigh Valley. I think that's the focal point, and bringing it to life of what we experienced in the most truthful way with the best people. And we're still actually bringing people. We're still in the whole process of everything, but we want it to be like what you see is what you get. Period.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Well, I gotta say that this has been one of the creepiest conversations we've had. And
Yeah.
but I like that. See, this is what I want. I want the unfiltered truth.
Yeah.
And Jenny said that this is your truth, and I believe this is your truth. I just happen to agree with a lot of it, if not all of it. Because a lot of people ask me, they say, Bobby, do you really believe? I get this all the time. Like, I've only been doing this since 1990. And they go, do you really believe in ghosts? And I always say the same thing. I passed the point of belief a long time ago.
Mhm.
It's no longer belief no longer plays a factor in it,
Right.
but I continue to do it because, first of all, validation never gets old. It just doesn't. And I'm still trying to find out answers because a lot of times, in Phil, you were saying before that, a lot of times these entities and these energies play games with you. And I always notice that when I get to the real important metaphysical questions, when I'm in a spirit communication session, that's always when the session terminates, because I think there's things we're not allowed to know. I don't know if there's a governing body out there that only lets them give us certain amounts of information, because we do know, though, that these darker entities, their most powerful tool is unbelief. They don't want us to believe.
Right.
When you believe, that's actually one bullet in your gun, because the people that don't believe are the easiest targets, and they're the easiest to manipulate, in my opinion.
Exactly. Very well
These
said.
things are mind manipulators. They know how to control your thoughts. It's a telepathic way where they will come after you, and you'll think you're making the right decision when you're making the wrong decision. Paranormal investigating can be exciting, but you have to be careful. I have seen over and over again the demise of so many people that Julie and I interviewed on our radio show. We could say, "Oh, coincidence. Oh, it was going to happen." Or we could look at actual timelines of investigations and places they've been. Now, with the new purchase of the Warren's location and how I feel about this, and that's why I went on TMZ again, is because in my belief and my knowledge and what I've seen happen to people, the entity will take a high public figure, bring them in, and then show the world what the entity could do itself to the person. And that could be through a number of ways, which I'm not going to talk about.
Yeah, I've said that in the past. There's almost the exact same thing you're saying right now, that they work, in the highest levels of society and government. And by the way, Beth, that's pretty amazing. I kind of envy you. She lives on a Civil War battlefield.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
wow.
Yeah, wow is right. But no, I agree with you, Phil. I really do. But now, what's the timeline on this documentary?
We're hoping to have it done within the next, I would say, 6 months. We're going through everything like with a fine comb. We're going through. Don't forget, we have so many EVPs for all the teams.
Yeah.
So we're going through
There's a lot of
everything,
stuff.
and we're putting the selective best ones out there.
Mm.
I'm going to go through what NESPR picked up at the home, with True Ghost Stories picked up at the home, and we're going to go through it. We're coming through the timeline, and then we get the reenactors, and we are actually going to have. So this is going to be interesting too, because as they're doing the interviews here in Pennsylvania, I'd love for you to be here, Bobby. By the way, they're going to have a demonologist here, and we don't live there anymore, so that's over. That whole thing is gone. But we're going to talk about it, and I guess the demonologist wants to see how the family lives now under a psychology view and under a view of we feel like we're set free and no devices are being activated. Then when they do the actual filming in Kentucky, they're also going to have people out there within the spiritual community just to see if anything happens as they're filming and reenacting everything. Because sometimes, as we know, even with the movie Poltergeist, that there were things happening before, during, and after. There were some tragedies after that filming. And it kind of, I always talk about King Tut's tomb in a way, because if you read the story, how many people tampered with him in his tomb that aren't around anymore, you say, well, is it a coincidence, or is it, don't mess with certain things because they will come after you?
Yeah, I know. You had invited me and my family team to the Horsefly Chronicles home.
Yes.
And we didn't do it. And it's only because we were just getting over our own
Right. And you have to do
issues.
what's best for you. Yeah. You have to do what's best for you, and something I think, and you and your wife said,
which is true. You don't want to invite that in or have that attachment, but guess what? That's all gone now.
Yeah, that's great. And nothing makes me happier than to hear that. But if you need me for anything, I mean, just let me know. But since I haven't been to the Horsefly Chronicles house, I don't know how much help I could be. But if you do need me for anything, let me know. But I think it's great. But we are up against the clock here.
Okay.
This has been a great show. I mean, you're a great host.
Yes.
Thank you.
And we were looking forward to this, just coming out. And by the way, someone said, just so I could throw it in there really quick. And Phil said he was possessed. No, we were channeling a spirit through Paranormal Zone TV, ran by Noreen years ago. And my wife walks into the room and tries to get me out of it. So one of my troll haters say, they take the clip and like he said he's possessed. See, he's faking it. No, moron, I wasn't possessed. My head wasn't spinning around. We were channeling it, dummy. I mean, I gotta call shit out for the way it is. If you're gonna try to take stuff and snippets and then try to like make yourself look good with your little troll team, I gotta come back at you.
Yeah, be careful. I'll come back at you real hard.
I'm the same way. That's the Italian in us, Phil.
That's the Italian. We break bread together.
We have a lot in common, trust me. But
this is a great show.
Thank you. This was there was no downtime in this show, folks.
I can't wait to rewatch. How do I rewatch it myself now?
This was exactly. This was packed from start to finish with all kinds of just gold nuggets, and in my opinion. So yeah. Listen, folks. Stay tuned. We're going to keep you updated. What I would like, Phil, is like sometime in the next few days, if you can shoot me some links, we're going to put all the links to the upcoming documentary and anything they want to promote down in the description of this podcast so that you guys know where to go.
Okay. And you can go, you have groups. You have Lehigh
Valley. We have a lot of groups. We'll send you all that.
That's what we have. Yes, you can. It's easy to find. Just type it in. But
wait. Before we end the show, first I want to say thank you to all the listeners out there, and you're all awesome. And Bobby's got a great show, so continue to share and support his show because he's doing a great job. And I know, and Julia knows firsthand, it's very hard work.
Yes.
And
yes,
we're going to be talking about someone really big within the celebrity world that we're holding back right now. But I guess they got my attention. I got their attention, and it's about helping at the end of the day. That when you think you're a normal family, the only people that get spooked. Well,
sometimes he doesn't even tell me things. I mean, that's
be
how
surprised.
It's very, and I'm just like, what else? It's okay.
You'd be surprised how many of the Grammy winners out there may have their own little hauntings. So,
right,
Bobby, I hope we talk again soon. We will send you the links. Everyone out there, follow his show, share his show, because you know what about he's talking truth. He's talking about knowledgeable things, and that's what this is about.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and I like the fact that you said that we're trying to talk truth here, because really that's what we try to do, and we want to cut through all of the. I mean, yeah, we're on YouTube and we're promoting this and we're promoting that, and all of that's important, but the bottom line is we're afterlife researchers, and we're trying to prove the existence of the hereafter, which has its good and not so good.
Yeah.
And we all know that. But in order to do that, we need to be honest. And I think that's really important. Johnny Depp has left the building because he was scared.
Oh my goodness.
This has been a great show. Thanks. Thank you, Beth. I appreciate that. Well, folks, we're going to end it here. We're at 106, which is great because I like to get it over an hour, because in order to promote the video, it has to be over an hour. So we got it over an hour. So I really want to thank Phil and Julia Siracusa, because they are just, I respect them. I more than words can say.
Thank you.
Been a supporter of us. I am now a supporter of them. And I'm also, I'm privileged to call them friends.
Yes.
And I just think it's great. And I want to thank them for being on the show and really just delivering a phenomenal show. No holds barred. That's exactly what I wanted, because I want you guys to get some real value from this. We're not like these other YouTubers who are like, oh my gosh, this is real stuff, folks.
Yeah.
It's real stuff.
Absolutely. Perfectly
So
said.
there we go. Any parting words, folks? That's it.
Come on.
I think you already had your parting words, but I want you to do anything.
Oh my, thank you.
And don't. I just got to.
His monitor's haunted, folks.
Knowledge is power, and don't be fooled by electronic devices. And
You're gonna break it.
And you can take that to the bank. Thank you, everyone.
Or to the garbage pail now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we'll see you later, folks. We are going to end this in 3, 2, 1.